Hi. Uh, Welcome to Reality Check. I'm your host, Viola Washington. Really, and welcome to the conversation. Uh,
And I'm Andrew Rhodes.
yes, and we're back just to talk about what's going on, not in our local state, but in this world, in this world of sin and shame. You know, and and that's we want to talk about some of those things. First of all, uh, welcome and thank you so much for joining us today. The shutdown is what we want to talk about first, Andrew. We want to talk about the shutdown and how long, how long can man turn his head and pretend that he just don't see? How long?
Well, Bob, it's people that we vote have voted for, and those who have no conscience. Because one of the things I've heard and I've even said before, unless that shutdown affect them, unless their paychecks are not coming in, and I'm talking about Congress, you know, why do they have to care about? They didn't care about them when they didn't care about anybody else when we voted for them. And I'll say this because it has no effect on them. They need to lose their medical benefits. They need to lose their paychecks because they're the ones who's not getting the job done. And that's the only way you can get people to move when they become part of the process. And the process is the federal workers, all of the people who this shutdown is hurting. Uh, I can say this, and I believe it honestly, is that the Democrats are not going to move on when if they're not going to do nothing with health care, and I commend them for that. I really do.
I do too. I do too.
And those are the people that those people are holding up are the people that we voted for.
Yeah.
Now, on the other side of that,
they're standing.
Mhm.
That's what we want them to do. When I talk to the bigger community, that's what they're saying.
Right.
They just hope that the Democrats hold out.
Right.
Right. And because we have to take a stand. For once in our life, maybe a couple times in our life, we can stand on something and make sure that we stand and don't move. Be like a plant by the river, the water. You know what I'm saying? Just stand. You just cannot move us. So we just got to do that. Well, and I'm glad to see the rallies and stuff that's taking place in these other states. And it's not just one race of people. It is poor people, middle class people, those rich people that belong to some of the middle class people,
Yeah, of course.
and everybody is getting tired of this man. What how much we gonna take? How much we gonna take? This man wants to be a king. They think he's Pharaoh. He wants to be a king.
But you got to remember, Pharaoh was black.
But he don't care. If Pharaoh was a king,
Yeah,
and he had power, he wants that same power. He wants that power.
I'm gonna say why, and I'm gonna try to put it in as few words as I can. It's like when you vote for a snake, and the snake say, "Well, I'm not gonna do nothing to you because this is what I want. I want these legislations to pass, but we'll talk about yours later." Okay, so but if anybody knows a snake, we know he gonna get what he want now, and he ain't gonna think about you down the line. Yeah, he don't care. He's a snake. So me comparing Republicans to snakes, I mean, I've compared them, those who not that we voted for, but those that other folks that voted for. I've called them, Republicans. and booty kissers and all of that, because that's what I believe that they are. Every word, anything you can think about, anything I can think about that I could believe I could say on the air. That's what I think. I've had conversations in the last 2 weeks with mega guys, and I had to shut them down because you don't know enough about what's being done to you to sit back and tell me what's going on with the country. These folks, they believe in Donald Trump, and they're not going to back down, and they don't care who it hurts. They don't care.
About
So
power.
yeah, they want to keep that. They want to be able to have the power. They don't figure that they're working a democracy. They don't know what that is. Working together and all. That's why we got two parties. But we need to have some, bipartisan legislation.
You know, need some equity, equal rights. And, but the only way I see us getting that, and I'm saying to all of us, we got to vote.
Right.
Our voting strength is our most powerful strength.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to utilize that power. God gave it to us, and we have to use it. You don't have to be afraid to fight against, because I tell people when you're voting, you're voting for or against. And there's nothing wrong with fighting against, because you stand up for what you believe in if you're going to stand up against something. And if you vote for something, then you're going to stand and fight for it because you believe in it. So let's vote. Let's use our voting strength. And I know in a lot of people's houses, we always say, in this house, we're going to serve the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
In my house, we're going to serve the Lord, something like that. But I think we should add to that scripture and say, and we're going to vote.
Mm-hmm.
For or against, but we're going to vote. And we're going to know the difference between who we're voting for or who we're voting against. We're going to know why we're doing this. We're going to work together. I mean, just if we just use our voting strength, we could turn this world upside down. If we show the strength in voting, you don't have to worry about being part of getting a gun, standing there shooting at somebody, and all this kind of stuff. Fight it. When we say you have to fight. Use your strength. What is your power? Fight with your vote. That's your fight. Fight with your vote. You don't have to be afraid when we say fight. Use your vote to fight. You know?
Mm-hmm. And that's very important because we with this when we voted to put some of these guys in, we saw a big shift in the morality of this country, and the fact that we had two Democratic presidents, that's Biden and Obama. It's always been what the Democrats have done to run this country in the ground. But look at where we are now. You know, so I'm glad that this guy has gotten. And I don't even really like to say his name, and I don't know how much responsibility he has in that. But that this war is, as much as I know, in Gaza, Jerusalem, and all with the Jews and all of that. Hey, that is something that should have happened a long, long time ago. And we've had Democratic and Republican presidents that has not been able to do this. I'm not going to give this guy credit. I'm not going to give him credit for all of what's happening because, it's just something about him that becomes, and I'm talking about Donald Trump, so I don't throw nobody off, that, he's a little unhinged, and the fact that he wants to be a dictator. He wants a Nobel Peace Prize, so, and when you have that thought of mind, for those who have gotten Nobel Peace Prizes, I think that caught them and a lot of other people by surprise. But this is what he expect because he think he was the catalyst in freeing, these folks. So yeah, but I think a little different. As I said, I don't trust a snake. So, and I think he's a snake, and a lot of immigrants. Those who were legal in this country. You got hoodwinked. This man was running. He was saying, "Hey, we're gonna do something about the borders." Well, the borders, something is happening. He's sending everybody back. And believe you me, that I don't think that's the end of it. He may try to find a place for us, but we know that ain't gonna happen because we ain't gonna sit back and take it. I don't care if you got ice cube, whatever you got, we will fight against it. Yeah, we don't care. But you are not going to destroy the institute that got us to where we are. You're going little by little, and you're starting with diversity, but you ain't gonna move too much past that, partner. You and your booty kisses.
And here in Louisiana, I just want to say that we just had an election, and we have a new mayor in town. We have a new sheriff in town, and so we're gonna see where this leads us to. And even if you didn't vote for the people who are in office now, and you voted for someone else, whoever is in office becomes your mayor, your sheriff, your whatever, and has to do the same thing for you in your community that you had asked someone else to do. So we have to hold whoever it is accountable. We're not going to say, "Oh, I didn't vote for her," or "I didn't vote for him." No, no, no. That's our mayor. That's our council person. Right. That's all of our local people, whoever they are ours. They are not just for those people that voted for them.
Everybody, man.
Everybody's mayor. So we want to look at the mayor that way. We want to welcome him into this state and get to work, and we're going to be there to make sure that we get something done in our community too. We know that the ninth ward really in need of help, but all the rest of the wards are also in need of help. Right. So we're asking everybody to stay tuned for what your mayor and the other people in the city are doing, and make sure that you hold their feet to the fire.
That's right.
To make sure they are doing what they promised us, and they made a lot of promises to us.
And I guess I'll say this because I know our time is running short.
Yeah.
But I know this is something we all do when we hear that song, "Boots on the Ground," and we all get up and dance. But one of the things they do say in there is, "Where them fans at? Where them fans at?" And that's you voters. And we got to make sure that the fans show up when the people we put in office not doing what they're supposed to do. That's right. That's our job.
And the community gotta have it.
Yeah.
It's suffering. The community gotta have it. And we're asking everybody in the community to take a deep look at your community, analyze it, see what the needs are in your community, and present them to your local elected official, and ask them to do something about it. Or then you will know if you should vote for that person the next time. Not if you should beat them up, but if you should vote for them the next time. That vote hurts so bad, so it's just like a whipping. So we're going to learn to beat them up with our vote.
That's right. Because we are the fans.
That's right.
We are the voters. So
we are the people.
And that's right. In order to form a more perfect union.
All right.
Establish justice. I know it.
All right.
Establish justice. Ensure domestic tranquility. Provide for the common defense. Promote general welfare. Here and ordain the Constitution of the United States. That's us. And that's what we supposed to be doing.
And
they wrote
it.
And they wrote it.
That. And we
That's
were
right.
not involved, but they wrote that.
And we want to hold them accountable.
To
That's
their
right.
word. Yes, to their word. That's right. So we got to go. And we'll be back next week to just sit on the porch and just have this conversation,
Yeah.
And please, vote. Teach your children to vote. Grandchildren, and your yet unborn great grandchildren. Just how important it is to vote, and let them know why they need to vote. Talk about the injustice that took place, because we still have to watch out for what's getting ready to take place with the Voters' Right Act now. They're getting ready to again snatch it away from us, and we want to be able to vote. So we don't want to have to go down that route. We don't have to repeat what we've done. We've done that. We changed that. We got the Voters' Right Act, and we don't want to lose it. We want it to become law, so they won't have to try to revisit it again.
We want it to be a bill,
right?
Not a law. I mean, act, not an act. And we've had this conversation 2 years ago. Yes. So I'm saying to all of those who are in charge, all of those who are in charge, with all of those we voted for, let's fight to make this a bill, not an act. Right. And we had this conversation about and not just one time.
And we just gotta do it. People gotta work on it. Just gotta do it. Well, anyway, it's time for us to go, and this has been really nice. I have really enjoyed these few minutes that we had with you today, and we'll have much more time next week with you. And we appreciate you listening, paying attention to what we're saying. As I said, if you want to contact us, us at 504-338-9205. Let me say it again. 504-338-9205. Give us a call. Tell us if you do or you don't like the show. If you do, tell us why you don't. Then again, tell us why you don't. And so that we could better it. That's what we need to do. So thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And y'all have a good day. Good day.